Welcome, everyone, to tonight's game between the visiting Hendrickson Hawks and, of course, your Leander Lions. Want to go on ahead and announce that it is first responder night here at AC Bible. So they're going to have a moment out in the stadium, but we'll also take a moment and recognize what is essentially a very special group of people who put their lives on the line in a number of professions in order to keep the community safe. And we'll start with police officers, firefighters, paramedics, EMTs. There's animal services. I mean, really all emergency personnel. And if you think about it, there are a lot of folks that weren't even officially first responders who responded over to Sandy Creek during the flooding over that weekend in July. I think that was in July, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago. I mean, people lost lives, and so we want to thank those individuals who, they're not doing it for pay. The pay is not just great, right? I mean, if they were worried about money, they'd be in the NFL or the NBA, or they'd be working in a profession like surgery, plastic surgery or something like that. So ultimately what they're doing is they're helping the community, and we want to shout out all of you. If you're a first responder in any capacity, then we want to thank you for all of your contributions to the Leander community. And let's talk a little bit about the game, Frank. Tonight's matchup, the Hendrickson Hawks, both the Lions and Hendrickson, 0-1 coming into tonight's game. Both of them losing probably games they could have won, and both of them are going to want to get a win tonight.
Yeah, both of them are looking for a win tonight. Last week I want to announce that Offensive Player of the Week was Dominique Jaramillo. Special teams was Tyree Smith, and defense was Chase Milne. So those were big key players last week. Hendrickson gave up defensively 214 yards and 2 touchdowns in the air, along with 126 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Last game, Monty put up some good stats. He had 208 yards passing, 7 carries for 90 yards. And Jaramillo had 6 receptions for 118 yards. So it's going to be fun to watch them get that W tonight, or attempt to.
Yeah, it should be a pretty good game. I do think the Lions probably – it's early in the season. It's hard to tell. But, of course, I've got my Leander blue-colored shades on, so to speak. Ultimately, it's going to be a game that I think the Lions can win. Belton, year in, year out are pretty good. But the last couple of years they've had some of their players taken away by Lake Belton High School. And so, maybe the talent level at Belton is not what it was 10 years ago. I don't know. It's a similar struggle to what we've seen here numbers-wise at Leander for, as far as kids coming out for the program. And so we've seen that improve here. Belton has always been a football town. They were in my district when I played. Of course, Leander was in my district as well. And, these are powerhouse teams. They don't want to lose to one another. And Hendrickson, although they've kind of come along of late, they've had some good years, deep runs in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game tonight. Look forward to seeing that defense out there again. Last week they did pretty good shutting out that quarterback, Cody Taylor. So I look forward to seeing him again, get some sacks, get some tackles.
Yeah, if that defense gave up 200-plus passing last week, I'd like to see what Mason Montgomery can do today in the air. The Lions are going to be relying on Jay Coates. Kamarion Gordon is not going to be suiting up tonight, and we'll leave it at that. But Jay Coates and who else? We'll find out who's going to step up in that role, and it's an opportunity for a young guy. Usually, sometimes it's a senior that is able to step in and get his first chance. But, that's why you keep prepared, because you just never know when your opportunity is going to come in the sport of football.
Yeah, that's good that we have these pre-district games to go ahead and get all those cobwebs out the way real quick and get the motion rolling when it comes district time. But we're definitely going to go out there and try to get that W tonight.
So we'll head down to the field. We'll take a short audio break, but we'll keep the stream going, and we'll be right back here on SHN Sports, your home for Lion football. Stay with us.
Go Lions.
Welcome back. We were trying to get the crowd mic working tonight. The stadium crowd mic just isn't working, and we don't have a long enough cord to get out of the press box into the bleachers to really get a good sound. And the cable, the workaround we tried is just not working. It's just producing static. So we'll keep the PA mic on here in the booth, so you'll at least get that bit of experience with the PA coming over on the crowd mic for us. We'll leave it. Well, we don't have the crowd mic in here. We're going to have to bring it in here, I guess. Well, we'll just work without it for now, and I'll try to work it around on or at halftime. We'll see what we can do. Let me go on ahead and mention our gold sponsors. Our gold sponsors are RDZ Roofing and Mercy Veterinary Hospital. We want to thank our gold sponsors. That is the highest level of sponsorship you can do, and I can attest that RDZ Roofing does great work. Our silver sponsors are going to be, you got to line it just right on that eyeball, Mechanical Roofing and Exteriors, 7 Brew Coffee, and we're still waiting, but Raising Cane's might be a silver sponsor, so we'll go ahead and mention them here to encourage them to get that form in. The next level of sponsorship for the Booster Club is our bronze sponsors. They include J.T. Reisdorf at State Farm, Austin Telco Federal Credit Union, Sisk Robb Incorporated, and, of course, Texas State Optical. Our Roll Pride sponsor, it's a new sponsorship level this year. That's going to be Plains Capital Bank. And, of course, our podcast sponsors include, I want to make sure we have the right list here. It's Great American Cookie Company, Toyota of Cedar Park, Leander Veterinary Clinic, Daddy's Chicken Shack, Guaco Taco, Lucky Rabbit, and Marco's Pizza. We want to thank all of those sponsors for stepping up, making this broadcast possible. Even though we don't have a crowd mic, maybe they can kick in a little bit and get LISD to fix the crowd mic for us. So right down on the field are the first responders. You won't be able to hear it, as I mentioned. We'll go on ahead and turn up the announcement. We'll be off the air for a second. I mean, the stream will stay live, but stay with us. Lost his camera. Go check on him real quick. It's working, Juan. Trying to get it where it won't mess anything up. Good to go. Something's working. Oh, it's my mic. let's give a big round of applause for your Leander Lions. And here come your Lions. We may have the crowd mic working a little bit. It's creating a little bit of static, and we'll monitor that. And we'll try to get you as much of that benefit of the listening experience as we can. Again, hopefully Del Valley's press box microphone is working correctly for the crowd. If not, we'll hopefully be close enough to the edge of the press box that we can run a wire out there. I guess if you haven't already known what the schedule was, then obviously it's no surprise that we'll be traveling to Del Valley for the next contest. But we'll talk about that later during probably halftime. We'll go over the upcoming schedule for the coming weeks, and we'll mention the sponsors once again. I want to go on ahead, and I'm going to turn the crowd mic down just a smidge, and we can still pick up the PA here in the press box, so you can hear that in the background. And as we mentioned, both teams coming into tonight's game with a record of 0-1 in non-district play, both teams losing essentially by a possession. So both teams are itching to get a win here tonight, and we'll see who it's going to be, the Lions and Hawks on the field, and we're ready for the national anthem. Again, with crowd mic issues, it may not be working as well as we'd like, but we'll get as much of it as we can, so stay with us.
Sergeant Alexander Zimmer, flag bearer of the Texas flag, Cadet Master Sergeant Alexander Rivera, Texas Flag Guard Cadet Staff Sergeant Alexander Reach. Instructors for Leander Air Force Junior ROTC are Lieutenant Colonel retired Jeff Moffitt and Master Sergeant retired George Reyes. Now to honor our country with the singing of the national anthem performed by the Lionheart Singers under the direction of Christian Chow. Thank you so much, Lionheart Singer.
So it sounds like maybe there is a short in that first wire we ran out there in this second wire. Maybe that's why I got a little bit of a shock when I was out there with that mic. Enough to wake you up. Do have to work at the day job tomorrow, so never fun to go into work the day after a game. No matter what happens in the ball game, I have a hard time getting to sleep after a game. So I didn't get to sleep last Thursday until about 1:45 in the evening. So ultimately, it's a lot nicer when you win because you're laying awake smiling instead of laying awake going, man, if we would have done this, or man, if we would have done this, or if this would have broke our way, or if that would have broke our way, we would have been set. What's that, Juan?
That's almost a short nap, 1:45 to have to work the next day. That's like almost.
Well, I took last Friday off, so I've got I'm not a big vacationer. I'm more of a staycationer, and I'm building up a plethora of PTO, and so I needed to burn a little bit of it. So I took, and given that it was the Labor Day weekend, that there was a holiday on that Monday, I was like, I'm just going to take a day on Friday since it's the
4-day weekend.
Yeah,
that's nice.
And it was nice, except for I had something to do every night of that weekend, including the game Thursday. But we'll get into my social life a little bit later as we have the captains coming out. Looks like Jay Coates, number 20, one of those captains, as well as Connor Krebs. There's a couple there in the middle. I can't quite see their numbers. I was too busy talking about my life to realize they were walking out onto the field. What is that noise? I think it's the stadium mic. It's the referee's mic.
Yeah.
That is not a good sound. So a little bit of feedback, as they say. So toss in the air. Hendrickson has the call as the visitor. We'll get those captains for you here momentarily. Once they turn to an angle, we can see their numbers. Had a couple of them already, Krebs and Coates. Sounds like a law firm, Krebs and Coates. Long discussion by the white hat there between the captains. And you see there Leander won the toss and is elected to defer to the second half. And that means Hendrickson will open with the football this evening. And it looks like 88, one of those line captains, Virgil Garcia. And the last one that I didn't get looks like it's number 12, Jaden Connolly. So I want to thank those captains. It's always an honor to be able to go out there to the coin toss and represent your team pregame. It is a ceremony that is pretty close to as old as the sport. In fact, they used to decide playoff spots with a coin sometimes back in the day when we were when the only one or two teams, depending on how old you are, made it to the postseason. When I played, only two teams made it. 2 years prior to that, only the district champ got postseason opportunity.
That's when you guys play against Bedrock, right?
Well, no, we played C.E. King, which is, Bedrock. Okay, I get you. Yabba dabba doo high. That's the one model of car that has never reported a transmission issue. Fred Flintstone's car.
There you go, that foot power right there.
That's right. So back deep to receive the kick for the Hendrickson Hawks. Let's see if I can get the number there. Looks like that is either a 16 or 86. I can't tell because of the angle. And it looks like the other guy's wearing 17. 17 is not on the roster I have. Who's 17 on your roster?
Jonathan Green.
So we're going to say the Max Preps roster is not accurate. The Rodriguez kick back fielded by number 17 inside the goal line. He's going to carry it out to about the 16-yard line where he's blown up by number
Jaramillo.
2, Dominic Jaramillo, trying to get a special teams honor this week. You got an offensive honor.
Keep it rolling.
During last week's game. He's trying to see if he can get him a special teams honor this week, and maybe he'll just keep on being that go-to guy in the receiver room for Mason Montgomery. And so the Hawks will line up their quarterback. Let me put that near me where I can borrow it. Paul Clayton, number 6, and there's going to be a handoff. Ball's on the ground already. He only gained about a yard. They're going to say he was down. Ground causing the fumble was the call, and that's Jonathan Green, the running back. The quarterback is number 5, Pete Vallejo, one of my favorite local bands. Not a lot of local bands that I'm into, so they gotta definitely have a rock flavor to them. Boy, that's a big offensive line the Hawks are bringing out there. Big number 77, so Vallejo.
Yeah, they're pretty stout tonight.
With Green right to his left. 3 receivers here on the near side of the formation. Vallejo hands to Green straight ahead. He has a little bit of a crease. He's able to shake a couple of tacklers, and he'll be tackled right at the 25. He's about 2 yards shy of the line to gain for the first down. I didn't see who made the stop. We'll give it to a whole pack of lines or pride of lines, as Dave Anderson used to tell us. Pistol formation for Vallejo. Behind him is Green in a traditional pistol. They do have 3 receivers on the near side. Going to be a keeper by Vallejo to the right. He's going to get the yardage needed to move the chains, but pretty good effort there to come up and make the stop by number 9 of Leander, Chase Milne. So it'll be first down for the Hawks. They'll have it at the 29-yard line, their own 29-yard line. And they'll look to the sideline for the play call.
Yeah, that was a good little pop right there. Make them think next time about tucking and running.
Yeah. You got to make them pay. If they're ever going to run the ball, you make that quarterback pay. Vallejo and Green in the backfield, 2 receivers either side of the formation. Vallejo looking to the wide side of the field. Pressure. He's rolling to his right. He tucks to run. He's going to be forced out of bounds by number 5, Liam Walters. After a pretty good gain, he may even have enough for the first. We'll see. No, he's about – okay, I got a little confused there. He's only a gain of about 6. Still a good gain for Vallejo. And it looks like they're going to bring in a new running back. That's going to be number 23, Brody Martinka. Is that Martinka? Martinka. So Martinka is going to line up behind Vallejo. You got 2 receivers on the short side of the formation. Single receiver here on the wide side. Martinka is going to run. He's going to be tackled pretty quickly at the line of scrimmage there by number 8, Malachi Ramos.
Number 23, Brody Martinka.
Or check that. That was number 9, Chase Milne, getting him another tackle. Don't want to shortchange Mr. Milne.
No, last week, Defensive Player of the Week right there.
And you see why. Good pursuit there, and despite a stiff arm, able to fight through that and make the play. So it's going to be third down and about 6 yards for the Hendrickson Hawks. Vallejo with Martinka just to his left. They bring a man in motion. They're going to fake to him. It's a rollout by Vallejo, a little flare. It's going to be incomplete. It was a little bit long. Looked like it was intended for Martinka, but it's going to fall incomplete. And more than likely, the Hawks will bring out the punting unit. And it looks like that's what they plan to do. And so the Lions, early strategy to defer the opening kickoff when you win the coin toss. Now, if you can make this possession count, get points, then you might get a possession ahead of these guys.
Yeah, that was some great pressure right there by Walters, making Vallejo throw off his back foot, not allowing him to dial down on that throw right there.
So the punter looks like it may also be Vallejo, which is not that uncommon. He's able to get a decent short kick. but it's got a good Hawk roll. It's going to roll down inside the 20 to about the 18, where it'll be down there by number 75, Cruz Sanchez. And so the Lions will have their first possession of the evening after giving up a couple of quick first downs to the Hawks and then forcing a punt.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what Montgomery and that offense has in store right now for the Hawks.
We'll also get a chance to see what Jay Coates can do on the field for the bulk of the game here instead of filling in. Mason Montgomery in a shotgun formation with Coates to his left, 2 receivers on either side of the formation for Leander. Montgomery looks over the defense, takes the snaps a little bit low. He's able to get it, fakes to Coates, rolls to his right. He's going to be tripped up in the backfield for a sack. About 3 or 4 yards. That's number 91, I think.
Number 21.
21.
Brown.
So that is a more significant loss than I had originally thought. A 6-yard loss. 2nd and 16. Ball now scrimmaging at the 13-yard line of Leander. Coach remains the running back to the left side of Mason Montgomery. 2 receivers on either side of the formation for Montgomery. Looks to his short side, is able to complete it to number 9. That is make that number 8, Malachi Ramos on the reception. Those 8s and 9s look a lot alike. They're going to get back the 6 yards plus a couple more, making it 3rd and 8 at the 20-yard line. The Lions need to get to the 28-yard line.
Yeah, if you see the defense, they're backed up so much. I mean, they're giving it to the line, so why not take 7, 8 yards at a time right there on a quick route?
Do it. And we've got a diamond of 4 receivers here on the near side of this formation in an otherwise empty set for Montgomery. He's going to quarterback draw, and the Hawks sniffed that out. They were waiting on a gain of about 3 to the 23, but that's going to bring up 4th down and about 5 yards. So the Lions will bring out Rene Rodriguez and punt it back to the Hendrickson Hawks. And so with a possession each, we're still even at 0. Unless, of course, Coach McLean's got something in his bag of tricks. And on this area of the field, I would not recommend that.
Ron Rivera move right there.
Hey, sometimes that's when they help the most.
Right, catch them off guard.
But if you blow it, it's a big risk. Back to receive, that's Max Quiller. No, check that. That's number 4, or is that a 2? It's either Maddox Quiller or Devin Parker. Quiller?
Quiller, yeah.
Pretty good field position for the Hendrickson Hawks. Is that return all the way to the Leander 33. We'll see if the defense can stiffen up here and start out the way they ended that last Hawk offensive possession. Looks like we got another running back in for Vallejo, and that's E.J. Neal Adams. Vallejo looking to throw to the end zone. Pass is caught, but is he out of bounds? They're going to say he is in bounds for the reception at the 4. It'll be 1st and goal for the Hendrickson Hawks. That completed to Devin Parker, number 4. Or check that, 0. Romello Boykin, the receiver, on that catch. That'll set up the Hawks on a 1st and goal from the line 4.
Yeah, looking at the replay, he was just able to get them feet in bounds right there.
Yeah, only need the 1. So Adams behind Vallejo in a pistol. They're going to hand to him. And he's going to get off of the first tackler, but he's going to be dragged down when he gets back to the line of scrimmage, getting up off the very bottom of that pile.
And that was Nick Winton with the tackle.
Yeah, Winton, number 4. So really no gain on that play is going to make it 2nd down for Hendrickson. And they'll keep the running back E.J. Neal Adams in the backfield with number 5, Pete Vallejo Jr. He's got 3 receivers on the short side of the formation, a single receiver in Holden Hannock over here on the wide side. I would look, it's going to be a draw straight ahead to Vallejo, and they will have their first points of the game. It'll be the first points of the night. And so Hendrickson will take a 6-0 lead with 5:47 remaining here in the first quarter. They'll line up for the point after attempt. Looks like that's going to be attempted by number 45, Brennan Mercado. Yeah, those names don't quite go together, Frank. I don't know a lot of Brennans with the same last name as Mercado. Point after attempt is good. It's a 7-0 Hendrickson lead.
That was a compromise on that one.
Yeah. Well, you get a good kick return that's going to energize your offense, right? So they come out, they get a big play immediately. It's kind of when you get a turnover, you want to flip the field if you can, and we saw that here. Want to mention our sponsors real quick while we have a moment.
47 seconds remaining in the quarter.
We'll get them in a minute. I don't know what I did with them, so we'll find them here in a second. I've got them. It's just we'll be back at it here shortly. Plus, we probably want to close the door to the box here. I didn't realize we were still open. Here it is. Yeah, I pushed it to the bottom. We'll mention the gold sponsors because they're the ones that count the most. The gold sponsors, RDZ Roofing and Mercy Veterinary Hospital. So kicking off is going to be Mercado. Back deep to receive for Leander is number 8 and number 18. Number 8 is Malachi Ramos. Number 18, Liam Gaither. Or make that 10. That wasn't an 8. That was a 10. And that's Isaac Montgomery, the junior receiver. The threat man there in the back with Ramos. Kick's going to go towards Montgomery, out of bounds, though, and so the Lions will have an opportunity to either force them to kick again, which is oftentimes what I would recommend because you just ran down a sprint and then you make them do it again. And it looks like they are going to make them kick it again. And Mercado didn't demonstrate a huge leg on that kickoff, but you never know. His first kick was somewhat deep. So he'll line it back up. This time they're going to be setting the football on the 35-yard line of Hendrickson for this kickoff. Kind of a long delay, and it wasn't Mercado that kicked off. Or if he did, they brought in another kicker for this one, and that's going to be Paulo Albadon, a sophomore kicker. He's like, I'm used to kicking from the 40. Yeah, your team just got a penalty, though, so you got to back up 5.
Maybe that sun's a factor right there. It's right at him, too.
Well, and it tends to be a factor. You played in this stadium back when the home side was on the wrong side, right?
Yeah, that was fun right there.
So there's the kick, and it is a deeper kick. It is going to be fielded by Montgomery at about the 3. He's at the 10, 15, 20. Cuts out there, and he's going to lunge forward to about the 24 where he's tackled by number 21, Zabrian Brown. And so the Lions will have their second possession of the evening, their first, not a great one, so we'll see what they can do here with their second opportunity with the football. They'll break the huddle from the sideline. Montgomery will have Coates in the backfield. Isaac Montgomery, the wideout on the far side of the formation, along with number 2, Dominic Jaramillo. A couple of weapons over there on the far side of the field. It's going to be a handoff to Coates straight ahead. He's picking his way forward. He's only going to get about a yard. Not much there for Coates. Good effort by the Hawk defensive line. We'll go ahead and credit that stop to number 56, Logan Reel. So it'll be 2nd and 9 for the Leander Lions. Not even getting in the huddle is number 8 for Leander over here on the near side of the formation. That's Malachi Ramos. Coach the running back, 3 receivers top of the formation. One of those an H-back. Montgomery takes the snap, fakes to Coates, looks on that left far side. He's able to complete it to Montgomery. He spins, picks up the first, and gets out of bounds for a Leander first down. That ball should be marked just beyond the 35. They're going to say he stepped out a yard shy of the first down. Unbelievable. Granted, that's the far sideline. Maybe he did when he was spinning step on that marker, but it's going to be 3rd and short for Leander instead of a first down, however. Montgomery in a pistol with Coates just to his right, 2 receivers on this near side of the formation. Montgomery looking that direction, able to complete it to number 19. He's able to break into the open. He's at midfield. He's going to be forced out of bounds, and that's Aiden Passe, the senior wide receiver, with a nice reception and spin and run for a first down into Hendrickson Hawk territory.
And that's the thing, that they're giving up 5 yards and cushion right there. So, we're just taking it every time right there.
Lions in a hurry-up offense. Montgomery snaps, is able to complete it to, looks like that's Isaac Montgomery over there, and he'll pick up a first down at the 31-yard line of Hendrickson, and the Lions are back on the line of scrimmage in that hurry-up offense, trying to get the Hawks tired. A little pass out in the flat to Montgomery. Cornerback able to come up and make a tackle for a loss of about 5 yards. It's going to be marked back at around the 36-yard line, make it the 37. So, I get the strategy there. You want to get it out to Isaac Montgomery and let him make a play there while the defense is a little bit gassed. But I don't like throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage. I just never have. Those bubble screens just. Man, it seems like teams can execute them against my teams, but for some reason my teams can't execute them. So.
Right, yeah, no, Coach, like I said, they're 5 yards off the ball, so, trying to make something happen.
Yep. Montgomery with a snap is able to get it in the flat to Aiden Passe. He's going to be spun down. Gain of about 2 to the 35. It's going to make it 3rd and about 14 yards for the Leander Lions. And, of course, this part of the field, if you can get even half of the distance, you may consider going for it on 4th, but it's also within the leg strength of Rene Rodriguez, so you may take the 3-point attempt as well in this situation. Coach to the right of Mason Montgomery trips here on the narrow part of the formation. They tried to get it to Jaramillo on a little wide receiver screen, but Mason Montgomery made it too tall for Jaramillo to be able to climb that ladder and pull that down. And so 4th down, you didn't get any of the yards. Looks like the Lions are going to go for it here instead of attempt a long field goal, because you're looking at about a 52-yarder from where it is to attempt a field goal. Coach, the running back to the left of Montgomery, and they draw the end off, but then no snap, so he's able to get back. Fake to Coach, and there's a pressure up the middle. Montgomery rolls, throws it down the right sideline, out of bounds. And, on 4th down, maybe you throw it across the field, but, you don't want to give a guy a turnover for a couple of reasons. But you can also treat a pass like a punt in that situation if you're able to get that opportunity. No such luck for Leander. It'll be the third possession of the Hendrickson Hawks. They've had about 4 first downs today, but they had a good punt return and were able to capitalize on it for the one and only score for tonight. So Jaramillo in at quarterback. He's got a running back to his left. They're going to hand it to him.
There you go.
And he's going to get wrapped up in the backfield by a whole pride of Lions. That was Green on the carry, and just I didn't see who arrived first, but it looked like Milne cleaned it up.
That was Luis Williams right there. He was on that from the jump right there.
That's a big loss back to the 27-yard line. The Hawks need to get to the 45 for a first down. 2nd down and a lot. About 18, in fact. Backfield remains the same for the Hawks. Vallejo looking for a screen pass, and it is complete to Green, but the Lions sniff it out. Big number 15 getting in there and cleaning it up right after the reception.
Oh, Evan Perkins right there. He was on that quick. That could have been bad.
Yeah, it was set up there, but it's almost like Perkins had seen it on film or something, because he once he recognized it, he was up there in a hurry.
Yeah, he skated right behind them linemen. They were looking for him.
Sometimes it's beneficial to be able to do that. When you get linemen in space, they're not always as good a blockers. You can actually make their job easier if you're not careful. So Green remains the running back for Vallejo. They're going to fake to Green, pass in the flat on a little wide receiver screen. This one is to Boykins, number 0, and he's able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. And he made a few lines miss, but he didn't get much on that reception.
That was great hustle by Cordova there.
Cordova.
Lineman to get down that line right there.
And that's going to bring up a 4th down, and so the Hawks will bring out the punting unit, and it'll be number 5, Pete Vallejo, to punt. Back deep to receive for Leander is going to be Evan Linden, junior defensive back, number 27. We'll see if he can scoot it down the field for Leander. The Hawks took advantage of a special teams punt return. Linden unable to hang on to it, and it's going to be recovered by the Hawks deep in Leander territory at the 28-yard line. And those are the kind of mistakes that'll cost you, Frank.
Yeah, he wasn't too clear and concise about what he wanted to do with that one, so he kind of short-armed it a little bit.
Yeah, there was a defender coming down, and you know that's a coachable moment. You probably want to just let that one bounce and roll, even if it you know I get what he was trying to do. You want to prevent any more distance. You don't want you
took off running without the ball.
Right. And so Vallejo will be back in, and it looks like Neil Adams is behind him, unless that may be Jonathan. Actually, that's Jonathan Green. In a pistol. They're going to hand to Jonathan Green off of the left tackle, and there's just nothing there. They're going to lose a yard.
Big Virgil Garcia right there.
And, you know, that's a big old offensive line the Hawks are bringing, but the line defensive line has been up to the challenge thus far today. They've limited the runs to very minimal gains. It's going to be 2nd and 11 now, ball at the 29-yard line for number 5, Pete Vallejo and his Hawks. In the backfield now is going to be E.J. Neil Adams. He'll be to the right of Vallejo in what is a pretty tight pistol formation. Vallejo dropping straight back. There's some pressure on the edges. He's got a receiver in Boykins. He makes the catch at the line to gain. He's going to get a few more yards up near the 15, and that's where they're going to mark him for a 1st and 10. So Perkins on the stop for the Leander Lions. They're going to have a –
that's the end of the first quarter.
That's going to be the end of the quarter. Okay. I was wondering what the commotion was. So let's take a moment and mention our sponsors, our gold sponsors first. Our Mercy Veterinary Hospital and, of course, RDZ Roofing. That stands for Rodriguez Roofing. Make sure you look for them. Our silver sponsors are Mechanical Roofing and Exteriors, 7 Brew Coffee. And our bronze sponsors include J.T. Reisdorf at State Farm, Austin Telco Federal Credit Union, Sisk Rob, and Texas State Optical. Thank you to those sponsors. We'll get to the other ones later. We're getting ready to start the second quarter. Lions behind the Hawks by a score of 7-0. You know, this first half of this game doesn't look too much different from the second half of the last game. You know, mostly defensive plays, but a few breaks for the Leander opponent at this point. And the line defense really needs to stiffen up here. You don't want to dig too big of a hole early and have to try to open it up before you really want to.
Yeah, the defense is going to stop right here, and the Lions got to find some kind of momentum on offense.
And I do have one quick score. Lake Belton and McNeil are tied up at 7 in the first.
That Lake Belton team, one of the district opponents for Leander. Neil Adams, the running back beside Vallejo. They'll bring a man in motion. That's Kofert. Vallejo rolling to his left, having to throw across his body. Had a receiver down there in number 3, Braden Mueller, but that's a tough throw, having to throw from your your right arm as you're rolling to the left. He was able to get his shoulders around a little bit, and the throw somewhat accurate, but kind of carried Mueller out of bounds. And it wouldn't have been, even had he made the catch, he wouldn't have been in bounds.
That was great coverage right there by the Lions. They were a hat on a hat. He didn't have too many options there.
So Neal Adams will remain the running back beside Vallejo. The H-back, number 15, Holden Kofert. And we have 2 receivers, Boykins here on the near side for the Hawks. They're going to hand it to Neal Adams straight ahead. He's going to get inside the 10 to about the 8 maybe. It's going to be 3rd down and goal. They're going to mark it at the 9. The Lions looking to hold.
From the 9-yard line.
They can still pick up a first. Okay. The chains aren't on the sidelines anymore. They've moved them back now. That's usually where they're standing when it's a goal to go. So, yeah, they can pick up a first before they attempt to score. So, Neal Adams, the running back to the right of Vallejo. Vallejo looking to his right as Boykins, little one-on-one, unable to hang on to the football as he's out of bounds. Good coverage there by Leander's corner. I didn't see who that was. I think that's going to be
number 4.
That's Nick Winton.
That's pretty good right there because that guy right there, that's
he's their
great asset to have
guy.
as a quarterback right there.
And so they're going to attempt a field goal here. Number 45, Brendan Mercado, coming out to attempt that field goal. He's going to tee it up right around the 16, so it's a 26-yard attempt. Snap, hold, kick is up. And it is good. It's a 10-0 Hendrickson Hawk lead. 10:57 remaining in the half. So we'll stay here on the broadcast as we move to the was this the 3rd possession or the 4th possession? Yeah, 4th possession for Leander. They really haven't done a lot with the football offensively. They have to find a rhythm here. They were the last possession. They were able to move it a little bit they got a big play, and then they sped up their offense.
Yeah, it'd be good
no huddle kind of thing.
It'll be good to see what Coach Price has drawn up right here. See if he keeps exposing that 5-yard cushion that secondary is giving him. See if he gets creative with it.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time, right? You take what the defense gives you, and sometimes that's not very much, and you have to make something out of it once you get the ball in your hands. But we haven't seen that happen here for the Lions tonight. Malachi Ramos back deep with Isaac Montgomery to receive this kickoff from Hendrickson. A little tight formation, the kickoff formation. The kickoff guy, Paulo Albadon.
Like a buddy system type kickoff right here.
Yeah, he's probably just got more leg. He's a sophomore, so it's going to be fielded by Montgomery. Cuts up at the 20, breaks the tackle 25-30. Try to cut in and then rolls out to about the 35. Nice return by Isaac Montgomery, and we'll see if that can fire up the line offense and see if they can move the ball down the field and get some points here into the second quarter. I mean, you want to look at halfway through the second quarter. You don't want to be down 2 scores. You want to be able to at least be down at a minimum 1 score, if not ahead, obviously. A lot of other games out this evening and tomorrow evening. I know Cedar Park is playing Vandegrift in one of those.
Tonight at 7. Starts at 7:30, so it's just starting.
Yeah. Should be an interesting matchup. Vandegrift lost to Dripping Springs in their opener. We'll try to get you those graphics here shortly. Coach,
there you go.
Able to string it out for a gain of about 3, maybe 4 yards. They're going to give him 4 yards to the 39-yard line.
Second down and 6.
Another game out there right now. Cowboys are up 6-0 on the Eagles.
Is that right? Well, I don't want to hear too much about it.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
That's
I know
fine.
you had it on TiVo.
I'm not. It's not like I'm going to make it all day tomorrow without knowing. I mean, I can't watch it tonight.
I'll make sure to call you in the morning.
Yeah. No, it's no big deal. I mean, I didn't expect them to win tonight. If they win tonight, then it's a pleasant surprise. And I can go watch it later without any concern.
Oh,
Montgomery,
got a man open
little
right there.
pump fake, and then he
There you
heads
go.
back down. We're going to have some interference. A lot of flags thrown across the field as Montgomery looking for that call from
that Montgomery to Montgomery
against
connection
Boykin.
right there. But no, he got him to catch on that first step right there, and had no choice but to hold on.
Yeah, and there is a Hawk player down, so we'll take we'll stay here. The Lions will huddle there on the sideline. I know we have a podcast coming up, but I don't remember the podcast schedule.
I think it's at the end of the month on the let me check my calendar.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try to see if I can find it in here. They didn't print it out.
I believe it was the 29th
That sounds accurate.
at Guaco Taco, I think.
Yes. And we've had several podcasts at Guaco Taco. It's a nice place to have a podcast. It's outside, so it gets a little bit toasty. Yeah, it is. September 29th at Guaco Taco. Then we're going to turn around October 6th at the Lucky Rabbit. And then Marco's Pizza is going to supply the food on the 29th. That's going to be the trunk or treat night here at the school. That's actually a Wednesday, and I'm going to be flying to San Diego, so we'll figure that out between now and then because we've got to have somebody do that Cedar Park broadcast as well. Coach the running back to the right side of Mason Montgomery as the Lions come out. Montgomery rolls to the right, looking downfield. Short pass is incomplete, intended for number 8, Malachi Ramos. So it'll be 2nd and 10. That'll stop the clock with 9:56 remaining in the half. The Lions will go ahead and huddle, ball at midfield. Again, the Lions looking to get some points here, down 10-0 to Pflugerville Hendrickson. In case you're wondering what school district Hendrickson's in, it's in Pflugerville ISD. Montgomery takes the snap, fakes to Coates. Coates picks up the blitzer. Pass complete in the flat to number 19. That is Aiden Passe, but he didn't get much, maybe 3 yards up to the 47 of Hendrickson. Lions got to get to the 40, so they need 7 yards here. Maybe 2 down territory here around midfield as the defense has played pretty well. Again, the touchdown kind of a result of a good punt return and one really good play up the sideline, and they put the Hawks 1st and goal. We've got a new running back in. I didn't get his number. He's to the right of Montgomery. They're going to fake to him. Pass is complete to Isaac Montgomery. He spins his way down to the 32. That running back is Michael Arnell. I know his daddy. So Arnell, the running back, just to the right of the quarterback, Mason Montgomery. 3 receivers here on the near side of the formation. They're going to hand to Arnell straight ahead. He finds a hole in the middle. He cuts up over the 25 to about the 23. Remember what we were saying pregame? Maybe there's a guy looking for his opportunity. Is it Mike Arnell? We'll find out.
We got to step up.
He's the Lions pick up a first down. The Hawks call timeout with 8:39 remaining here in the first half, and Coates might be quick. Whatever is keeping him on the bench, but that might just be that he's getting a little bit of a breather. So we didn't see anything. So we knew there would be somebody else. We just didn't know who that would be, and that's going to be Michael Arnell, the junior running back.
It's all opportunity, next man up.
That's right, and you know, we talked about it pregame. That's why it's important to be prepared, even if you're not out there playing all the time. And honestly, if you're really preparing, you're giving the starters the good look they need in their preparation leading up to game day. So, you know, there's no excuse to not be working hard out there. And we saw a nice run, good vision there from Mike Arnell. So 2 receivers top of the formation for Montgomery. The running back will remain Arnell. On the near side, we have Isaac Montgomery at the wideout. They fake it to Arnell, looking down the right sideline and airing it out. We have a flag, all kinds of contact over there And that pass intended for Ramos, he had defenders bracketing him, and an extra flag comes in. I'm just curious. I hope that's not a comment being made as he passed by. It doesn't look like it. I think they just, confirm what the other official called.
Yeah, that DB bit down on that route right there. He set it down, and he bit on it and had to hold on for dear life.
So it is a holding call against the secondary of the Hawks. That'll give the Lions an automatic first down after they step off. Used to be 5 yards. Is it 10 now? I'm not sure. It is 10 now, looks like. Or is it 5? They're going to mark it off again.
Hold on.
It's still early in the season for those gentlemen, too. We've got to have a little grace here. So it looks like a 10-yard penalty.
You don't look too sure about it, though.
Down to the 13. Yeah. Well, you'd think that's one that you would know, but if that rule used to only be a 5-yard and an automatic first down. So there's a snap, there's a handoff to Arnell straight ahead, and we're going to get what probably is going to result in a holding penalty after a 4 or 5 yard gain for Michael Arnell. So they get Dustin Stanton, a senior offensive lineman for Leander, with a holding penalty.
Go ahead and reset the ball back.
Yeah, that's going to move it back a little bit. Something you don't want, but Stanton, the Lions center, replacing Casimir from last year, an all-district center. Big shoes to fill. He's played pretty well so far. That's the only penalty I've seen in 2 games. So it's 2nd and 20 now, ball at the 24. The Lions need to get down to the 4. Fake handoff to Coates, and the pass complete in the flat to Conley, and he's going to get tackled pretty quickly by Khalil Stewart. And there's actually going to be a loss of a couple on the play. The line of scrimmage is now going to be the 26, so it's going to be 2nd and 22 for Leander. And you got to stay in field goal range here because you want to at least get some points out of this drive. 7:50 and counting here in the first half. The Lions trailing, of course, 10-0.
Maybe go for a little pump fake. They seem to be biting on it pretty good.
Lions will break the huddle. Coates the running back, and he's going to have 3 receivers on the wide side of the formation. Will Montgomery fakes to Coates. Has good protection. Pass is intercepted at the 18. And he's going to get wrapped up around the 25. That's number 37, Adrian Hines, a freshman defensive back for the Hendrickson Hawks. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Hendrickson at their own 25. The score will remain 10-0, 7:17 remaining in the first half.
The quick score, Lake Belton and McNeil. McNeil scored a touchdown, so it's 21-14 McNeil now in second. Good game there.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And so far in those score, the Vista Ridge and Bowie.
So the Hawks come out in formation. 3 receivers here on the near side for Vallejo. They're going to hand it to Neil Adams straight ahead. He's lit up. Number 35, Griffin Sisk, the sophomore linebacker, coming in and putting the hit on him. There's also there number 56, Connor Black, also in on the mix. Or that might have been Cordova. I think that was actually Cordova involved in that. They give him more yardage than I think he actually gained. They're going to give him out to the 28 for a gain of 3. So it'll be 2nd and 7 for the Hendrickson Hawks.
Yeah, that was a great play by that sophomore right there. I mean, that running back felt every bit of that one.
His brother, all-district basketball player here at Leander for several years. We got an empty set for Vallejo and 4 receivers here on the near side of the formation. Is that an illegal formation? I'm not sure. Vallejo going deep down the middle for Boykin. Almost intercepted. His Lions had 3 defenders there. Tyler Mormon had an opportunity at the ball, able to knock it down at the very least with 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, he's got a lot of trust in that receiver. It's in triple coverage right there.
Well, sometimes you just let it
fly. Huh?
Hey, when you have Randy Moss, sometimes you just throw it up to Randy Moss,
Yeah.
right?
We got third down.
He didn't care. He saw triple coverage. I'm gonna let it rip.
So you probably remember him from your youth, the Jason Williams, the point guard for the Sacramento Kings.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
So he went to high school with Randy Moss. He was Randy Moss's quarterback in high school.
Oh wow,
I know, isn't that
fun
crazy?
fact right there. I didn't know that.
Neil Adams just to the right of Vallejo. He's going down the left sideline this time. All kinds of contact, but the ball well overthrown, intended for number 3, Braden Mueller. It's going to fall incomplete, 5-7 yards beyond anyone. It'll bring up third down. That'll also stop the clock with 6:22, and that's one of the it brings up fourth down. That's one of the things that kind of is not very strategic for Hendrickson, but maybe you're trusting your defense because the Lions, beyond a couple of runs by Arnell, haven't really shown that they can move the football on the ground. So Vallejo will be in to punt. Back deep to receive is, I didn't see who it was. I think it's 26 maybe.
Number 0.
Oh, so it's Case Schneider, and he wisely lets it hit the ground. The Lions will take over at their own 30-yard line with 6:12 remaining in the half. And so far, so good on the stream. I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, knock on
Tap
wood
on
right there.
Yeah, don't jinx it.
board.
Cross your fingers.
We had to run that line last second just to get that crowd mic to go.
Yeah, and it's not the greatest crowd mic, but it's better than it was last week.
Better than nothing. You
Right,
won't hear crickets.
Yeah, well, it doesn't sound like we're broadcasting the game from someone's bathroom.
From the porta potty or something.
So Coates will head out into the formation as the running back next to Mason Montgomery. We have 2 receivers on the near side along with an H-back for the Lions. They're going to hand to Coates. He has to make one man miss and can't. That's number 7 making the stop, Khalil Stewart. Loss on the play of 2 yards. They're going to move the line of scrimmage to the 28. The Lions need the 40. It's going to be second down, 12 yards to go. Clock moving now with 5:50 remaining in this first half.
Yeah, Hendrickson's been pretty good at keeping him at bay on the outside runs right there.
Yeah, they've done a good job. I mean, when we run it the best is between the tackles. We'll see if we this is really not the scenario to run between the tackles, but they fake to Coates. Montgomery throws it in the flat. Looks like it's complete. That's Dominic Jaramillo or Chase Milne.
No, that was nothing.
Oh, Malachi Ramos. I'm going to get 8, 9, one of them.
We just get started. We'll get to know them a little more as the season progresses.
It's going to be third down, 5 yards to go. Lions need the 40. On the near side, wide is Isaac Montgomery. On the far side, wide, number 8, Malachi Ramos. Everyone else for the Lion offense in the huddle, it will be the running back, Jay Coates, and we're going to have a timeout, Leander, with 4:58 remaining here in the half, and we will take a moment and mention our Roll Pride sponsor. The Roll Pride sponsor is Plains Capital Bank. And we'll go on ahead and shout out the podcast sponsors. They include Great American Cookies, Toyota of Cedar Park, Leander Veterinary Clinic, Daddy's Chicken Shack, Guaco Taco, Lucky Rabbit, and Marco's Pizza. And as we mentioned, on the 29th, we will be at Guaco Taco to hopefully we'll get a good stream this time.
Right.
We won't have any issues, and maybe we'll talk to Coach between now and then and see if we can wedge in either Mason Montgomery or Tyler Mormon or what was Coach's name that we interviewed? It was a Cajun name, and I'm going to draw a blank now that it's on the tip of my tongue.
That new coach from Vandergrift.
Yeah. None of those
Sorry,
guys.
Coach.
Yeah, none of those guys deserve to not have their interview seen. So third down, the Lions bring a man in motion. There's the snap. Montgomery looking to his left, drops back. He's got some pressure, rolls to his right, throws back across the field, is complete to number 8, and he's able to break the first tackle. He may have the first down. with that's Ramos, and I think he does have the first down at the 41. There is a penalty flag, however, on the 35. That is on the Hendrickson Hawks side of the field, but it is in the area where it could be anything. It could be a hold. It could be an illegal man downfield, and that's what it was, an ineligible player downfield. When the quarterback drops back like that and he doesn't throw it on time, the linemen sometimes forget and move downfield to pick up a block. So they'll back it up to the 30. It'll be 3rd and 10 instead of 3rd and 5. 4:44 on the game clock. Lions trail 10-0. Coming into the game, the running back for Leander, number 26, Michael Arnell.
The result of the penalty is 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, the center got a little too far out there on that one, but, I mean, it happens.
So Mike Arnell, in the diamond formation, along with 3 receivers, far side of the formation. Pass intended for Isaac Montgomery. Defender over his back. It looked like he was a little bit early, but no call. The pass falls incomplete.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one get called because he jumped on him quite early right there.
Yeah, it's rough. It's 4th down regardless. And had he even caught it, the Lions would have a decision on their side of the field on whether or not to go for it there on 4th down. So this makes that decision a little bit easier as they bring out Rene Rodriguez to punt with 4:18 remaining in the first half. Lions offense just really hasn't got on track yet here tonight. Rodriguez, little rugby-style kick. It's going to bounce at the 28 and out of bounds around the 25. We'll see where they mark it. It will be Hendrickson's football. They're going to give him the all the way up to the 30. So I guess that ball, when it hit the sideline there at the 30. So the Hawks will have the football with 4 minutes, plenty of time to try to make something happen. So what we're looking at here is that 8-minute window between the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half. Who's going to have the best 8 minutes? So a lot of times that'll dictate who wins the game. A lot of pressure on Vallejo. He's able to get it to Boykin on a drag pattern, about an 8-yard drag pattern. They're going to mark the football at the 37 after that reception, so they'll need 3 yards to pick up the first. Clock moving at 3:45.
Yeah, it'd be good to see the Lions keep them scoreless right here since we get the ball back in the second half.
Yes. Yeah, the last thing you want to do is give up points here, and if you do, it can't be more than the field goal. E.J. Neal Adams, the running back beside Vallejo. Twin receivers on either side of the formation. They're going to bring Kofert in motion to the H-back position. They're going to hand to Neal Adams straight ahead, and he's going to make a couple of guys miss, but he's going to pick up about 2. He's going to be a yard shy of the line needed for the first down, so it'll be 3rd and 1. Ball at the 39.
We'll bring up 3rd down and 1.
Be a good stop right here for the Lions. They can get it.
So Neal Adams will remain the running back to the left of Vallejo. Has 3 receivers on the near side. He's going to keep it straight ahead. He's going to get what he needs, but just barely. As a linebacker, I didn't see the number on it, came up and stopped his progress right at the line of scrimmage. He was able to maybe get a half yard.
That was number 9.
But it was enough to pick up the first.
Surprise, Mr. Milne.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Hendrickson Hawks. 2.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Neal Adams will remain the running back for Hendrickson. Vallejo will have 2 receivers either side of the formation for this play. He's going to drop back, throw to the left. Pass is going to be complete in the flat to number 3, Mueller, and he's wrapped up immediately. I didn't get a number on that. It looks like it's number 2, Dominic.
That was the number 3, Tyree Smith right there.
Yes.
He made him pay for that catch right
don't
there.
Play defense.
He could, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure he could. He probably does during the week, and he would if he had to. So the 2-minute timeout as There was a copyright violation by the PA just now. He called it the 2-minute warning. The NFL might be down here with their lawyers.
We're going to have to coach them up on that one.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I watched the 30 for 30 on the Notre Dame and Miami rivalry in the early 2000s and the late, in the 80s and 90s.
What was that nickname of that game?
Well, it's about a guy who was a walk-on for the basketball team, and he made like $37,000 printing and selling multiple T-shirts, but the one that stuck was Catholics versus convicts.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that was involved, and he says in there that he was advised to trademark that, and he didn't. And some kids in the business school of Notre Dame did, and they ended up making $500,000 on it.
Oh, man.
Wow.
After that. So, yeah, copyrights can make you money.
Yeah.
So, Hendrickson back out on the field after the 2-minute timeout. Neal Adams will be the running back to the right of Vallejo. 3 receivers here on the near side of the formation.
There you
They're
go.
going to hand it to Neal Adams.
Oh.
He's able to pick up the first, even though he was met in the backfield by a couple of line defenders. Good effort there by E.J. Neal Adams to pick up the first down for Hendrickson. That'll stop the clock to move the chains with 1:53, ball at midfield.
Yeah, that was number 28.
They had a new running back. Or is that who made the tackle?
Oh, no, it was 29 who made the tackle.
Okay.
He just laws of physics after that. I mean, he's a little.
Louis Ruiz Williams. We have a penalty flag on the field. So the center kind of hesitated on his snap, and that'll back him up 5 yards. So put it back into Hendrickson's territory. Virgil Garcia a little bit excited for that call. It's going to be first down with 1:41, but the Hawks need to get to the Lion 40. So they are moving the clock down to 1:31. That usually gets bumped up. I guess they had intended for it to move, and it didn't move, or there was a 10-second runoff violation, which is possible. When you're in the last 2 minutes of the game, you can't do certain things or you will get penalized time. I don't know what the nuances of those new rules are, but that's to keep the pace of the game going. Green gets the handoff, and he's got a lot of space on the left side. He gets close to the original line of scrimmage, but he gets blown up.
Hey, Luis Ruiz Williams not afraid to put that hat out there, though.
No.
I'll tell you that.
He's like, I'm not going backwards this time.
No.
Now, of course, that wasn't E.J. Neal Adams. That was number 17, Jonathan Green. Probably doesn't carry as much weight. Second 11 now for the Hawks. Green remains the running back to the right of Vallejo. 3 receivers for Vallejo on the wide side of the formation. Looking to throw on the left side. Pass is completed at the line 39 to number 3. That is Mueller. And it'll be first down for Hendrickson at the Leander 39. And with 32 seconds remaining, it's going to be a timeout, I believe, Hendrickson. And the Lions just looking to get a stop here in this last half minute. You don't want to go into halftime down any more than the 10 points you're down. And, honestly, the way that the offense is played, you're pretty happy down 10 considering this offense is usually more explosive than we've seen here tonight.
Yeah, they've definitely put the governor on Monty for sure in that whole offense.
Yeah, you give credit to the Hendrickson defense, but at the same time, I think that the Lions are just looking for that combination that they can rely on, right?
Find that balance.
Right, and you have to find a run-pass balance. Very few teams are able to just, do a Hawaii-type offense where you run the ball 3 times in a football game and the rest of the time you're airing it out. Most teams got to balance it a little bit. So Green will remain the running back to the right of Vallejo for this 1st and 10. Vallejo fakes the draw, and we have a whistle right after or before the snap. So Leander takes a timeout. A little bit of check it. This is like a basketball kind of, yeah. You know, when you see in a basketball game towards the end of a half or the end of the game.
The longest 30 seconds you've seen.
Yeah. It takes 7 seconds of game clock. Takes 4 or 5 minutes by the time you get through with all the timeouts and stuff. You can't really do that in football as readily as you can in basketball, but that's what they do, right? You got an inbound pass, everybody comes out on the floor, you look at what they're lining up at, and you go call timeout and say, okay, we're going to change our play now because of how they line up their defense, or we're going to change our defense based on the way, the personnel that they brought in for their offense. So it's kind of what I suspect Coach Price was doing. That, or he saw something glaringly bad that could have resulted in points and used that timeout.
Yeah, bad matchup for that number 0 right there.
Yeah, Boykin is a dangerous weapon on the Hawks side of the football. He's out wide on the near side of the formation. It is the wide side of the formation.
He's on the island right there with Nick Winton.
And so E.J. Neal Adams back in the game at running back next to Vallejo. Vallejo looking to throw, steps up into the pocket, dumps it off to Neal Adams. He's got it to 30, 25, 20. He cuts up at the 25, inside the 15 to about the 13 with 22 seconds. That'll stop the clock to move the chains. Hendrickson getting onto the line of scrimmage so they don't have to worry about it. Clock moving now, and it'll be a spike by Vallejo. Clock will stop with 16 seconds. Unless they add one.
And that was just the intention on that play right there. Get Boykin to stretch out the defense a little bit, and then come back outside with the running back right there on a short pass.
It's 2nd down from the 13-yard line.
I didn't see what stopped the clock here.
Oh, he spiked the ball.
Oh, that's right. My short-term memory not that great these days.
That's all right.
They come out in formation. That's E.J. Neal Adams, the running back, next to Vallejo. They're going to hand to Neal Adams straight ahead, and he slices his way inside the 10 to about the 7. And they're going to stop the clock with a timeout, 12 seconds. It's going to be 2nd and about 4. Or make that 3rd and about 4. Sorry, because I forgot about the spike.
Yeah. No.
So they Hawks will use their final timeout of the first half. And, this is a big couple of plays here for the Lion defense. They really need to get a stop here and, at the very least, force a field goal.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised next play there'll be a jump ball from Boykin over there in the corner somewhere.
Well, they already attempted one to him, and he had an opportunity at it. It was a good play there by Nick Winton to get up. He was in his hip pocket. He jumped with him, but you could see the athleticism and the size of Boykin. He's a big guy. So
got a couple inches on Winton right there.
Yeah. But if you're right there in their hip pocket, that means they're thinking about you, and they're not as focused on that football, and so it makes it difficult. Sometimes you forget where you're at on the field because you're worried about that defender being right on you. So with 13 seconds after the timeout, it's 3rd down for Hendrickson. E.J. Neal Adams will be the running back. I would not expect a run here unless it's from Vallejo. Looking to the right corner. Boykin down there in the corner. He drops it. He's looking for a flag.
Oh,
how did he catch it?
Went right. Yeah.
He did catch it?
Thread that needle.
I thought I saw it drop out. I guess I didn't.
Now you almost swatted it away right there. It was close.
So Boykin in the corner, just as Frank predicted. It is now a 16-0 score.
He's throwing in triple coverage. I mean, he's got a lot of confidence in that guy.
Yeah, you think so?
I mean,
so Brendan Mercado in to attempt the point after touchdown.
Yeah, Leander's going to have to go back to the drawing board at halftime on that. We'll make some adjustments.
And Mercado's kick is good.
And that is good. And so with 8 seconds remaining in the half, it is 17-0 Hendrickson. And so the Lions have their work cut out for them here in the second half. They're going to have to not only come up with some stops, they're going to have to come up with some offense. You know, things can happen, obviously. Games break. The Lions have not grabbed any momentum in this game to speak of.
It'd be good to see some kind of bag of tricks from Coach McClain right here. Maybe a reverse or something to the house, get some momentum going into halftime, get the ball back.
That would be nice. Maybe Isaac Montgomery can use them wheels and take it to the house. But, you know, a good kick return here is, you know, it's great for film. It's great for your highlights and your stats. But unless you take it to the house,
yeah,
it's just a fluff play.
No,
right?
I hear you on that.
So Isaac Montgomery headed back to receive the kick along with Malachi Ramos, the kicker for the Hawks, Albadon. And I would expect this to be kind of a squib kick. I wouldn't expect him to put it too high in the air. One of the line returners will likely have to field this off the turf and try to burn those seconds as much as you can. And it is a short kick. It's going to be fielded at the 25 by number 2, Dominic Jaramillo, and gets tackled pretty quickly, and the time runs out in the half. So we will take a break for halftime. We will leave the crowd mic on, and hopefully it'll pick up all of the band. I'll check on it and see, make sure it's not all static here in a minute. But stay with us for the second half. Lions trail 17-0. For Juan Alanese, Peter Casimir, and Frank Rodriguez, I'm Chuck Cracy. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hawk Band honors students who go above and beyond for the program. The first-year Hawk Band Member of the Week is Andrea Forster. Our car Member of the Week is Angelica Martinez. The percussion Member of the Week is Walter Billings. The Hawk Band Member of the Week is Lucas Dang. And our section of the week is the car. Drum majors Chloe Dixon, Liam Hackett, Edison Chow, and Jackson Williams. Is your band ready? The Hawk Band is proud to present their 2025 production entitled Emergence. Introducing, ladies and gentlemen, often imitated but never duplicated, your Leander High School Bluebells. Bluebells are directed by Ashley Williams and Lupe Summers. The Bluebells are led by Captain Sarah Williams, First Lieutenant Maddie Enriquez, Second Lieutenants Lainey Saunders and Mackenzie Van Zandt, Head Company Leader Madison Keller, Company Leaders Sydney Britton, Emma John, Alyssa Martin, and Olivia Martin. Congratulations to the Bluebell of the Week, Mia Leday. Every week, the Bluebells nominate a teammate who has shown exemplary acts of love and compassion to receive the Be Kind BFL Award. Congratulations to our Be Kind BFL, Caitlin Carroll. Performing a traditional routine that began in 1988, along with the amazing Leander Marching Band, here are your Leander Bluebells dancing to Get It On. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it once again for the incredible Leander High School Bluebells. Congratulations to our Teacher of the Week, Miss Schubert. Bluebells would like to give a special shout out to their platinum sponsors. Thank you to Storage Direct, Chinchilla Leal LLC, and Texas Children's Pediatrics for your generous support. The Bluebells would like to give a heartfelt thank you to their amazing parents, Leander High School administration, and the unconditional support of the Leander High School marching band and football program. Go Lions! Congratulations to our members of the week. Woodwind, Russell Clapp. Prep, Warren O'Brien. Guard, Jay Ramble Hillis. Percussion, Rex Hallenstein. Xbox, Charlotte Sill. Our freshman of the week is Evie Hayden. And the section of the week is the alto saxophone. Tonight, the Leander Band is proud to present the first 3 movements of their 2025 field show, Curiouser and Curiouser. Under the direction of drum majors Ari Chand, Rebecca Smith, Kay Schneider, Kyra Vance, and head drum major Mariah Reeves, the Leander High School Marching Band. The Leander band would love to thank all of their parents and booster volunteers to help make event days like this possible. We'd like to wish the Hendrickson Hawk band best of luck this year, and best of luck to our football team and our amazing Bluebells. Go Lions!
Welcome back. That was the halftime show with both bands from both schools, Hendrickson and, of course, the final performance there, your Leander Lions. Juan and I are here. We're working on switching some camera batteries, so we'll bring you all the action. As you can see there on the stream, there's about 2 minutes, 20 seconds remaining here in halftime, and I'm going to go on ahead and shout out our sponsors one more time before we start the second half. The gold sponsors include RDZ Roofing and Mercy Veterinary Hospital. Our silver sponsors include Mechanical Roofing and Exteriors and 7 Brew Coffee. Our bronze sponsors are JT Reisdorf at State Farm, Austin Telco Federal Credit Union, Sisk Rob Incorporated, and Texas State Optical. The Roll Pride sponsor, that would be Plains Capital Bank, and we'll round it out with our podcast sponsors and the Great American Cookies. Juan made a graphic with their logo on there, but somehow it got lost in translation when it got to me. But they're included as part of our podcast sponsors, along with Toyota of Cedar Park, Leander Veterinary Clinic, Daddy's Chicken Shack, Guaco Taco, Lucky Rabbit, and Marco's Pizza. And Juan, you got some scores to update us on?
I do. Vista Ridge is leading Bowie 14-7 in the second. Lake Belton and Round Rock McNeil is tied at 21 at the half. And then there's a couple other area scores. Pflugerville Weiss 16-8 over San Marcos at the half, and Hewlett Midway 45-7 over Round Rock Cedar Ridge in the second.
That is my alma mater, and
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
They're doing pretty good tonight.
Yeah, we didn't refer to ourselves as Hewitt Midway, but when we got in the playoffs, they called us Waco Midway. So I guess it doesn't really matter. But those are the sponsors. I want to remind everyone also that it was and is still First Responder Night here at AC Bible as the Lions come onto the field for the second half. Just want to shout out all the first responders, the police officers, the firefighters, the paramedics, the EMTs, those emergency vet services, the rescue services that we've seen be utilized in either the military branches or local policing departments. We want to thank all of those folks. Anyone that contributes to recovery and assistance in times of need, we want to shout you out because you're a first responder. And whether people believe it or not, prayer is important, and you can always do that at the very least. And so I would recommend that you do that as well. So, Frank, what are we looking at here in the second half? What have the Lions got to do to really get back in the groove that we've seen them over the last couple of seasons?
You're going to have to get that ball rolling on offense, find some momentum, and make it work, and continue to play great defense. I mean, I know that the score doesn't reflect that, but, I mean, they've been able to put up some stops and have some answers for Boykin.
Yeah, I think ultimately the defense is playing pretty well. There were some big plays on the Hendrickson Hawks side of the ledger offensively, especially there late as they received the ball with about 4 minutes remaining. And remember, I said, this 4 minutes closing out the second half, and then the first 4 minutes opening the second half, the first half, and then the second half. Really, it can show you which way the game's going to go. And so the offense really needs to make a stand here, a stand. They need to move the ball, and they need to score some points because they're sitting here with 0 right now.
Yeah, we're going to have Monty's going to have to pick it up and get this offense rolling and see if we can get a stop here on defense.
Well, a different Montgomery is back deep for the kick return, the junior wide receiver Isaac Montgomery. And I believe the other one is going to be Malachi Ramos, number 8.
Yeah, and Montgomery's capable of taking one back. We've seen some shimmy earlier, making some guys miss over here on the kickoff return earlier.
Albadon's kick is a short one. It's going to be fielded by Arnell right around the 22. He cuts up to 25 and gets to about the 26-yard line. So, about 6-yard return after the fielding on that short kick from Albadon of the Hawks. And we saw Arnell get a little bit of opportunity in the offense. Had a pretty good run up between the tackles, and that's one of the things I was going to recommend, not necessarily Arnell, but yes, Arnell too. If the Lions are going to run the football, they're going to have to do it between the tackles because the Hawk defense has showed good speed laterally and have been able to cause problems. The Lions hand it off straight ahead, and just as I said, they need to run between the tackles. That was Arnell on the carry, not much there. In fact, he's going to lose a yard or two. It's good penetration there in the middle by the Hawk defensive line, and that's one of the areas we've noticed the Hawks have had a little bit of an advantage, and that is in size. But the Lions have been able to use some of that to their advantage in the speed department, especially defensively. Hand off to Arnell again. He breaks into the open. He's going to get a good 8-yard gain up to about the 34-yard line. And again, right up behind the center, that's Dustin Stanton, number 60. Montgomery loses on the snap. He loses the handle. And on a 3rd and short, the Lions lose about 7 yards. And so it is 4th down now, and the Lions are going to have to punt it. And this is not how you want to start the second half, Frank.
Yeah, that was tough right there. I mean, you got some good momentum on that play, and he was just trying to get the handoff, maybe keep it, take it out for a first down. He's got to just see the ball in and make the play happen.
Yeah, Arnell had an opportunity, got close to the first down, and then just a mistake on that snap. That snap good to Rodriguez, able to get his foot into it. It's going to bounce about the 40, take a line roll past the 30, continues to roll beyond the 25 down to about the 22, where it'll be downed by number 2, Dominic Jaramillo. 10-12 remaining in the third, and the Lion defense is going to have to make a play. The last couple of drives, we've seen the Hendrickson offense move the football, and the Lions are going to have to stop them. And I can guarantee you Hendrickson's going to want to burn as much clock as possible. So if I'm coaching Hendrickson, I'm running the football.
And that makes perfect sense, too, because, I mean, you're already up 17-0. I mean,
right. The biggest hurdle to you winning is time. So if you can burn that clock, then you're going to do that. And they have E.J. Neal Adams as the running back. It's going to be a keeper by Vallejo. He's going to pick up about 3 yards to the 24. He's going to be stopped there by a host of Lions.
Yeah, initially met by Evan Perkins right there. And like we said, I mean, you're going to try to run it and just run it and see what they can get.
Yeah, also in on that Virgil Garcia, 2nd down and 8. Vallejo with a low snap, able to scoop it up off the ground. Technically, that was snapped directly to E.J. Neil
A
Adams.
little misdirection right there.
Yeah, I don't know if that was intentional, maybe.
No, he had his hands out, so, I mean, I think it was one of those just
It was a
little bit to the
low
right.
snap. Third down now, 7 yards to go. The Hawks need to get to their own 32. Ball marked at the 25, just shy of the 25. E.J. Neil Adams, the running back beside Vallejo. He brings two men in motion to make trips here on the wide side of the formation. And they'll bring another one back in motion. That's Logan Clark. And they roll to that wide side, and they hit number 27, E.J. Neil Adams, out of the backfield. He's going to pick up a first down to about the 34, maybe 35-yard line. They're going to mark it to 34. And the Lions had some defenders there, but Neil Adams able to push the pile forward beyond what he needed to pick up the first down. And again, Hendrickson keeping the football, grinding it out here. 8:38 and counting.
Yeah, that play
here
action
in the
was just
third.
enough to catch all the linebackers and linemen headed the other way, and just enough for him to sneak out.
You got to make the appropriate read, and sometimes you get a little ahead of yourself. Vallejo rolls to his right.
Get him.
Keeps rolling. He's got some pressure. Gets it over to Neil Adams for a gain of about 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, the number 11, Manuel Ugo, was on his heels right there.
Well, he ended up getting more yardage than I would have credited him with. So it's going to be second down, 6 yards to go. Ball now marked at the 38 of Hendrickson. E.J. Neil Adams remains the running back beside his quarterback, Pete Vallejo. 3 receivers on the near side of this formation. There's the snap. They'll hand straight ahead to Neil Adams. And he starts some progress. He's going to get about 3 yards of progress before he's thrown back by Virgil Garcia. It'll be third and about 3, and this is that area of the field you might go for it on fourth if you don't convert here on third.
It's a big third down right now. We got already 7 minutes and 18 seconds left in the third quarter.
So Martinka comes in as the running back beside Vallejo. Ball's on the ground. Still on the ground, recovered by Garcia, and the Lions will have the football in Hawk territory.
That's exactly what Leander needed right there.
They did, and we've seen a couple of snaps roll back there to the Hawk players. We saw one go to E.J. Neil Adams, and we've seen a couple roll back
that
to
looked
Vallejo.
designed, though. I think they were trying to catch the Lions off guard. Because
I agree. They probably did intentionally snap it to him, but it was still low.
I wonder if that was one of those as well.
Maybe, and maybe they won't call it again because that'll cost you. So Jay Coates comes in at running back for Mason Montgomery. He has 2 receivers here on the wide side of the formation. They'll hand to Coates straight ahead, and he's going to get wrapped up after minimal to no gain. Looks like number 84, Holden Hannock, on the stop. It's going to be second down. 10 yards to go. The Lions need to get down to the 27 to pick up a first down. Coach will remain the running back. Beside Mason Montgomery, he has 2 receivers on the short side of the formation on the Hawks side of the field. Montgomery looking that way over the middle. Passes far enough, and he hit the receiver. He had to come back a little bit for it, but it's going to fall incomplete, intended for Isaac Montgomery. So it'll be third down and 10 now. And, of course, this is 2-down territory for the Lions, especially down 17. If you can pick up 4, 5, 6 yards here, you're definitely going for it on fourth. Even if you pick up no yards, you possibly will be going for it here on fourth. But you want to be able to pick up some yardage on this play to make that fourth down a little more manageable. Lions come out of the huddle. That is Arnell, the running back now. They'll bring a man in motion, Jaramillo. Rolling that direction towards the man that went in motion, Jaramillo. Looking downfield, pass across the middle is complete, and they pick up about 8 yards on that little bit of a comebacker to number 19, Aiden Passe. And so it'll be fourth down and 2 The ball marked at the Hawk 29, and that's what you want to do, right? You want to set yourself up for a potential first down here on fourth down because you knew you were going to go for it down 17.
Yeah, it was a great job by Passe right there to get open, and it came out to the right. Everybody was covering, and he kept working back the other way. So.
He found that soft spot, and that's good eye by Montgomery as well to find him. Fourth down, power formation. They're going to run off the right side. It's going to be shy of the line needed to gain by about a half a yard. I like that you want to involve the offensive lineman there, but it ends up being unsuccessful for Leander, and the Hawks will take over at their own 28.5-yard line. 5:37 remaining here in the third quarter.
And real surprised tonight, we didn't see too much of Montgomery's legs out there in action. He's got some wheels on him.
Yeah, the Hawks have done a pretty good job of containing the outside, and when he is able to roll out outside, he's pretty deep by the time he levels off to make a throw. So they've done a good job. They did their scouting for sure. So Vallejo in a pistol formation. He's got a running back behind him. He's going to hand to him. That's Green. Or check that. That's Martinka. And he's going to gain a couple of yards to the 31. Make it 3 yards, and it's going to be second down and 7 for the Hawks. So Brody Martinka will remain the running back with Vallejo. One receiver here on the near side of the formation with trips up top. Look over to the sideline by Vallejo to get a last-second adjustment if necessary. He barks that out to the offensive line. Clock's still moving. We're under 5 minutes now in the third. Vallejo looking deep. Tucks it, rolls to his right, still looking downfield on that right sideline. He's found Boykin, and he is separated from the football. What a hit. Number 7, Tyler Mormon. Hey, that is how you keep Boykin out of the game right there.
It looked like it was a catch, and then Mormon just jarred that ball loose.
It would have been a catch without that hit. And it would have been really impressive if he hung on to that football.
Hey, and Boykins was slow to get up on that one. And I mean, that was a great hit right there. And that's exactly what Leander needs right there. People to step up, make some plays.
So we got 4:46 remaining here in the third quarter.
And he stopped the clock at the same time.
Yeah, Martinka just to the side of Vallejo. Vallejo rolls to his left.
Get him.
He's got pressure. He's going to get sacked at about the 21-yard line. The Lions with a big play defensively. And that's going to bring up fourth and a long distance to negotiate. And you'll see the Hendrickson Hawks come out with their punting team.
And that was awesome right there. Walters came off that edge, and, I mean, there was no end in sight. He was going to take that quarterback down.
So Vallejo will remain the punter. And, again, I'll date myself a la Danny White.
I'm not even acting like I know who that is.
That is a quarterback who replaced Roger Staubach for the Cowboys. He was their punter and the backup quarterback. He's also a coach. But ball's going to down around the 34-yard line by number 15, Holden Kofert. So he played at Arizona in college.
Okay.
And he was an All-American punter and an All-American quarterback. The Cowboys drafted him and made him a Staubach's backup, but he was the starting punter. And so when he became the quarterback, he was the punter for a while still too, even at the NFL level. So it was a little nutty. But they had to get another punter. You can't be having your starting quarterback out there punting the football.
Hey, we keep them on their toes though.
Oh yeah,
if they're going to punt the ball off.
You don't know if it's a fake.
Do like
in
a little
fact,
rugby.
he had before Aikman, he had all of the passing records for the Cowboys, and of course Romo broke Aikman's records. There's a snap by Montgomery looking down the center of the field. He's got that's not Jaramillo, that was Malachi Ramos battling a defender, the number 6, Paul Creighton, on the coverage for the Hawks. It's going to fall incomplete as it sailed beyond where those two players were. 2nd and 10, the clock stops at 3:44 on the incompletion. We'll start again on the snap.
The Lions are going to make a statement. It's got to be on this drive right here.
Yeah, they need to do something quick. Arnell to the right of Montgomery. 3 receivers here on the near side of the formation. Pass is right on target to Ramos, but they're unable to handle it. They're taking a hit as well from Paul Creighton.
That was number 0, Case Schneider.
Schneider. Take that back. That 8 and the 0 look a lot alike.
Rob Schneider's cousin.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't mind being on that wheel.
Right.
My crazy uncle.
Right.
3rd down and 10.
The animal.
Yeah. Montgomery, another bad snap. Montgomery able to scoop it up, finds a man in the flat right around the line of scrimmage. And he's going to gain about 2 yards. Dragged down. That was Arnell on the reception. So it'll be 4th and 8, and the line punting unit will come out. The clock continues to move at 3:20 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. We're happy we were able to finagle the crowd mic to work at least a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So it's so far so good on Knock on Particle board.
Yeah, that'll work.
The stream has continued to go. Whatever adjustments I made seems to have made the difference here.
Just got to tweak it a little bit. That's it.
And they'll get an offsides penalty here against the Hawks. Rodriguez still gets the punt off.
Oh, there
it's
you go.
Fumbled
Nice
onto the ground. And a big pile. Looks like he may have gotten on it. I think that was Boykin back there returning the punt. And we'll see what the penalty flag is. It's not going to be a first down regardless, but it will make it 4th and about 3 yards if it is an offsides penalty. Still a lot of chaos going. Looks like we may have a player down. So we'll wait on the white hat here to see what the call is going to be on that penalty flag. Again, we saw the defense come across into the neutral zone as the punt snap was made, and that's offsides, which will move the line of scrimmage up 5 yards from the 36 to the 42 if you choose. Or make that the 41. What am I thinking? My midway math.
It's got you this far.
Yeah, it has. Might have something to do with me not ever.
Don't show your work.
Yeah. Well, these days you can just plug in algebra problems into AI and
it answers it for you.
show the work.
You can do a whole question, type a whole question in. They'll give you the whole explanation.
Right.
Just copy it down.
Yeah, with my ADHD, you had to read the problem over. That's what they get you at. The way they word things.
Well, in my day job, I have to read regulations and statutes and case law, and I'm not an attorney, so I don't have that legal training, and that's what they do. I have to read them like 4 or 5 times to be like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing here. You structured this sentence in a way to make it appear like you could do this when you really can't.
Right. It's all about wording.
Yeah. Well, and there's always, except under this citation, so you got to go look up that citation and this citation. So, you can't just look at one thing and be like, there's the answer. No.
It's almost like you copy and paste it, send it to ChatGPT, give you some quick notes on it.
I could do that, except for ChatGPT is pretty quick. At least the time that I did use it, it's pretty quick to tell you, please speak to an attorney because
advertise it for them or something.
This is not legal advice. Well, if
summarize this for me.
If you're reading a lot of, which I have to do, and read a lot of legal journals and stuff, there's constantly attorneys being sanctioned by the bar association in the state they live in or the court system because they submit something to the court that they generated through AI, and AI just made some random ghost case law that doesn't exist, and so it looks like you're defrauding the court.
Yeah.
And you end up getting in a big bunch of trouble. And so if you're going to use AI in that capacity,
you got to check up on it, though.
Right.
I mean,
you can't just
do it.
do
Don't just
it.
say, thank you. Okay, let me submit this.
Right. You can't just say, okay, this is what it says, so it's accurate. You have to actually double check it against the statute, against prior case law. It's not an easy thing to do on a daily basis, and like you said, ADHD, man, it
Squirrel.
gets you. Yeah, it'll get you.
And quick score, Vista Ridge and Bowie are tied at the half, 14-14.
It looks like the Lions had an injured player, and he's coming off with a little bit of assistance, and will be back to the action right here with 2:36 remaining
Hate to
in
see
the
that.
third.
It looks like it's Tyler Mormon right there.
Yeah, he's trying to get that loose football. That was an opportunity for the Lions to recover a muffed punt.
And, I mean, during our podcast, I mean, that's a great kid right there.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a good
He
kid.
was telling us about him. He was telling
So
us
the
about
Lions declined the penalty instead of re-punting to Boykin. Well, I wish you could just tack it on to the end there, but, I guess not. You got to either take it at the original line of scrimmage there or decline it. And the Lions decline it, so it'll be Hendrickson football on the 34-yard line, their own 34. As the crew of referees and officials meet over the football, except for the line judges. So the Hawks huddling on the sideline will come out in formation. And coming in at running back will be E.J. Neal Adams. And it looks like we may have is that still Vallejo? I think it is.
Yeah.
That 5's starting to look like a 9 as it bunches up. Little swing pass on the fake handoff. So a little play action quick pass to the flat is going to result in about an 8-yard gain. And it was completed to number 84, Holden Hannick. 2nd and 2. 2:27 on the clock. They're going to hand to E.J. Neal Davis, and he's going to pick up the first down to about the 45. So gain of 3 before he's stuffed by the Lion defense. So the Hawks continue this drive, nearing midfield, 1st and 10. They'll bring in a new running back, and that'll be number 23, Brody Martinka. The entire Hawk offense looking to that sideline for the play call, and they get it.
Trying to figure out which running play they're going to run.
Play clock down to 10 seconds. Martinka to the left of Vallejo. 2 receivers on the near side. Throwing on the narrow side. That one intended for Boykin. A couple of line defenders there to make sure that Boykin isn't going to beat him deep. Good coverage there as they had a guy on top and a guy running right beside him. 1:39 remaining here in the third.
And that was that dagger he was trying to throw right there.
Yeah, he was trying to fit it in there. And, actually the Lions safety, I'm not sure who that was, Matt might have had an opportunity to make a play on the ball, but he wanted to make sure Boykin didn't get by anybody. I think that may be Tristan Adams. And it's going to be Vallejo running straight ahead. Adams able to trip him up right around the 37 of Leander. Nice run up the middle by Vallejo for a first down. Hendrickson. Clock continues to tick at 1:20 and counting. Martinka stays the running back for the Hawks. Vallejo remains the quarterback. On the near side, you have Hannick and number 3, Mueller. Boykin alone at the top of the formation. Going to fake, throw to Boykin on that right sideline, and he's going to come down with the football, even though he had a guy right in his pocket. Nick Winton had good coverage. He just didn't see the ball coming and make a play on it. It's going to be a first down Hawks now at the 12. We're under a minute. There's 52 seconds remaining here in the third. And the last thing you need are the Hawks to score going into the fourth. that's going to take all the wind out of your sails. That's going to be a keeper straight ahead by Vallejo off left side. He's going to pick up about 5 yards.
It's good to see that sophomore number 35, Sis, getting in there. And he's not afraid to get his hands dirty. Lay a hat on him.
He's coming out of the game, too. But, yeah, he did good on that play. So it's 2nd down, 5 yards to go. And they bring in it's the same running back, rather, Martinka, just to the right of a new quarterback,
yeah.
Maddox Quiller.
The
This is
Wildcat.
a run offense. Yeah, this is a Wildcat because and you see why they brought him in, is he's able to outrun the line defenders to the front corner on the Hendrickson side of the field with 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It's 23-0 Hendrickson, and they'll bring out their point after touchdown, their kick team. Brendan Mercado will do the honors.
And it's not completely over. I've seen some things.
Yeah.
2006, Drew Dunn, we were down by 24 points against McNeil. Comes back, we go to second overtime and end up beating him.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Yeah. Get on the rhythm right here. Let these guys,
Well, the key is you got to show some life on offense, and you show some life on offense, and then you get a big play on defense or special teams. In addition to that life on offense, you can come back, but you're going to have to wrestle the momentum away from Hendrickson right now. They hold all of the momentum, and they just marched down the field and ate up a big chunk of the third quarter on that drive. So heading into, we'll have a kickoff here in the third, and more than likely, depending on where that kickoff lands, if it's, out of the end zone, not returned, there'll be a play here, an offensive play in the third quarter. But I expect this offensive drive to start in the fourth because they haven't really shown that on their kickoffs they're going to kick it out of the end zone. Back deep to receive the kick is Isaac Montgomery and number 8, Malachi Ramos.
Yeah, I would be surprised to see a short kick again. They're trying to keep out of Montgomery's hands and Ramos.
Yeah, and I would continue to do that, and why not? You've had success doing that. You got Arnell right there at the 25, as well as Dominic Jaramillo. So both those guys have good speed. So you get a little bit of a crease. Either one of those guys could still take it to the house. So you pick your poison. But it looks like Albadan will do the honors and do that. He'll pick his poison here. Who's he going to kick it to? And it's going to go to Arnell. Ball's on the ground. It's going to actually be scooped up by Ramos. He's going to come across the field.
There you go.
20, 30, 35, and he's knocked out of bounds by number 7, Khalil Stewart. And, he ran more yardage across the field than he did upfield, and he got about 18 yards on that return. So that'll be the end of the third quarter. As I mentioned, we'll be heading to the fourth quarter. The Lions will have possession of the football. They're down 4 scores, and so they're going to need to do something about that. 3 touchdowns and a field goal. That's it's manageable with the 12-minute quarters, but come on, you're going to have to start working right away.
To get it done.
You had a decent return to start it to end that third, but you got to find something that you can hang your hat on. At the very least, just heading into Del Valle next week, you want to have something that you can look at in film that you can say, look, we didn't play well for 3 quarters. Here's all the bad stuff we did. But in the fourth quarter, look what you did. So even if you don't come out on top, you have something to look at and build on and say, you fixed these things you did in the first 3 quarters. You fixed them in the fourth. Now let's do it for 4 quarters this coming Friday.
Yeah.
Not tomorrow.
And that'd be a good testament to how they've been coached.
Yes.
Back in the day, Coach Gidding would always say, when adversity hits, the real man comes out in all of us. So
that's right.
Right now, our back's against the wall. Adversity is definitely hitting us. Let's see how the Lions answer to this.
Pressure can really show you who you are.
Yeah.
So it looks like Coates will be the running back beside Montgomery. I can't really tell. That might be Arnell, and actually I think it is Arnell. Fake to Arnell. It's going to be a keeper Montgomery. He's going to get about They're not going to even give him a yard. They're going to give him the line of scrimmage. It looked like he might have got a yard, but based on the line judge, no gain, second down.
And I'll tell you what, that number 48 for Hendrickson, he's a sophomore, and that's a big boy right there. Number 48, Keith Dove, KJ. He's sitting there at nose guard, and he's just a big boy.
Yeah, those noses usually get doubled.
Yeah.
But he got good penetration on that last play. Montgomery takes the snap, fakes to Arnell, throws it in the flat. It's complete for about 3, maybe 4 yards. They're going to give him the 38-yard line, so a gain of 3. It's going to be 3rd down and 7. Clock stops at 11:14 as the receiver steps out of bounds.
And we haven't seen too much of Jaramillo. You know, he's been really
had a
silent tonight.
Great game against the Pflugerville Panthers on a week ago tonight.
And then it really shows Pflugerville Hendrickson saw some film on that and made their adjustments on it.
They did. They've taken Jaramillo essentially out of the game tonight. There's a snap, fake to Arnell. Dropping back. Pass is intercepted. Up about the 35, he's going to be tackled by number 19, Aiden Passe. That was number 37 on the interception, Adrian Hines. It was 28. So Caleb Davis on the interception. Give him credit. 11:04 remaining, and it's Hendrickson football, and it could get ugly here, Frank. You don't want to give them 30 points. So you got to come up with a stop here. Coach Price having a long conversation with the line judge. Now, special teams coordinator also having a discussion down there. Not sure what all that's about. E.J. Neal Adams, the running back beside Vallejo. Got an H-back on the wide side of the formation. They're going to run straight ahead to Neal Adams, and we have a flag come in the area, which is likely going to be a hold, which is really what the Lions needed because that was a good run. And it was a good run because of a hold. That's going to be called against number 55, Eric Truon. He is a junior offensive lineman for the Hawks. So they'll have his services for another year. It's going to move the line of scrimmage back to the Leander 45. It's going to make it 1st and 20.
Now it's time to punch that ball out.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. This is where players make plays. You've got to find a play somewhere, and you got to make them make a mistake. Neal Adams, the running back beside Vallejo. They're going to hand to him off of right tackle. He's going to gain about 3, maybe 4 yards to the 38. So it will be 2nd down and 17 yards. The Hawks will huddle as they burn clock, 10:15 and moving here in the game.
That was a great tackle by Evan Perkins right there. But again, that little sophomore, number 35, I won't say little, number 35, Sisk was in on that play again. So
usually not on varsity if you're little as a sophomore, unless you're
really fast. Yeah.
And that handoff's going to go straight ahead to number 28, Caleb Davis. This is a sophomore. Oh, check that. I had the number wrong. Artis Duncan, number 20. Senior running back, getting some playing time here. 3rd down. Duncan will remain the running back for the Hawks. Pistol formation. Twin receivers either side of that formation. And we get a penalty flag. And they're going to call a false start. And they called it on Truon. That's his 2nd penalty of this possession. He had a holding penalty just a few moments ago.
He'll be hearing about that there.
Yes, he will. Those are the ones you don't want to watch over and over
Nah.
again, but they'll make you watch them over.
You want to talk about stretching time out, coach, and make you watch that for 10 minutes right there.
Yeah, well, what were you doing?
That's how nicknames are created right there, though.
Third down, lots of yards, 18 to go. Vallejo looking to the left sideline deep. Couple of defenders there. Collision. Everybody looking at the ball. No call from the official out there. The pass really wasn't a catchable ball. It was certainly long. 9 minutes, 1 second remaining here in the game. The Lions trying to break that shutout, but they got to get a stop here, 4th down. Vallejo remains on the field, but he's also their punter, so it's hard to say what they're going to do. I mean, that's a lot of yardage to gain, so I would expect some kind of quick kick here, like maybe they set up in a formation, and then he takes the snap, backs up, and just pooch punts it, try to pin the Lions deep. But they are lining up in a pistol here. We'll see if he does a quick kick, as he does. And it's going to roll into Lion territory. It'll be down at the 9-yard line with 8:51 remaining in the ball game. The Lion offense now, your work cut out for you here. I mean, you're obviously down a lot of points, but as we said, you just want to build on something, right? You got to have something positive to build on
moxie.
first.
Yeah.
Look at the scoreboard. There's your little Texas sign over there.
Oh, yeah. I got bad eyes myself. I need some glasses. You pull out the binoculars real quick.
We were pointing out some of the boosters, in case you're wondering, on the stadium scoreboard.
And if you're listening, y'all want to help support the team, I mean, it's up for the kids, man. Like, if not us, then who?
Right. Reach out to the Booster Club. And, if you want to help with the broadcast, if that's something you want to get involved with, reach out to Lisa Walters, the Booster Club president. She'll put you in connection with us. Or you can, find our Twitter account, Lion Nation Cast. I guess it's called X these days, but go on there, give us a follow, and you can send an instant message, and I will respond to that and get you set up and helping us out if that's something you're interested in.
Get some sideline cameras.
Yeah, we could use multiple camera operators. Montgomery, there's a holding in the end zone. Well, the hold itself was out of the end zone. That pass is going to be complete to number 8, Malachi Ramos. But there is that penalty flag down, and more than likely that's going to be a hold. The hold itself occurred in the field of play, not in the end zone, and the referee does throw his flag out of the end zone. Had it been in the end zone, that's a safety.
Yeah.
So you lose possession and you give Hendrickson 2 points. So you don't want to do that. So will remain second down. The new line of scrimmage will be the 3-yard line. Leander needs to get out to their 19. So it's going to be second and 15 or 16 yards, depending on the math. I don't know. My midway math is always a little bit off. It is. Usually it's in a positive way, but pass over the middle is too high. It's intercepted. He had a man coming across the field, and it will be a touchdown, pick 6 for Hendrickson, and that'll push the score to 30 for the Hawks. The Lions still 0, 7:56 remaining in tonight's ball game, and that pass, it just got floated. He threw it a little bit off his back foot. He had a man coming across open, but he had to send that a little bit more level, not arch it out there. And you throw off your back foot, it's hard to follow through. So point after attempt coming up for Mercado and the Hendrickson Hawks. Snap, hold, kick is up and good. Now 31-0 with 7:56 remaining. we'll stay here with the broadcast as we close out the final 8 minutes of this ball game. Lions will huddle up on the sideline. The coaching staff got, this is a challenge for young athletes to stay focused in a game like this. You get frustrated, right? You come in thinking you're gonna do well and maybe win this game, and then you look up in the fourth quarter and you were overconfident. You didn't prepare. Maybe the game plan wasn't what it could be. Who knows? This is something that as a team they'll go back and study and look at, and they got to get it together before Georgetown. So they're looking. You got Del Valle on Friday, and then Georgetown after a bye week. So Georgetown September 26th. It's at Birkelbach. The only loss in district play for Georgetown last year was to Leander, and I can guarantee you they would like to see a score that looks similar to this one in their favor if they can do that. And so the Lions do have some work over the next few weeks to get ready for that big district opener against Georgetown. That one's going to be fielded at the 26 and going to carry it up to the 31 where he'll be stopped there. I didn't see who that was on that kickoff. So the Lions will have the football on their end of the field. Looks like that may have been
Arnell again.
Or Ramos.
No, Ramos.
Yeah, I think it was Ramos. No, it was Jaramillo on that. And he's grabbing his hand, which is not a good sign for your offensive player of the week last week to be coming off the field in the fourth quarter with a wrist or a forearm hurting. Hopefully it's just a bruise. You can work through that. That's just a matter of dealing with pain. 7:48 remaining in the fourth and final quarter here. Montgomery still the quarterback, I believe, unless they brought somebody else in. No, they did not. Coach the running back. Montgomery over the middle has a receiver, and it's a little long. That was intended for Gaither. Or check that. I had that number wrong. Is it 18 or 16?
10. That's Montgomery right there.
Man, that second number.
He's got his shirt tucked in underneath, so I mean it's kind of hard.
Well, they crinkle up too, is part of the problem. That and it's hard to have cheaters or readers, as they're often called, and binoculars. That snap goes through Montgomery's feet, and he's not able to get on it, and the Hawks have it. Inside line territory at the 18. The clock will stop with 7:29 remaining in the game, and that's a tough break right there.
It's just been one of those games tonight.
It has. Sometimes things just don't go your way, but you can compound that by making your own mistakes, and that right there, we've seen the center on both sides, both teams, make bad snaps, and you can't really run a play if the snap's not there. So that's something that'll be worked on. It's real easy to talk about. It's a lot harder to do. And a snap step, and to be able to make the snap and get your step all in one motion,
and
be able to
block him.
and get across them. Well, not only does the center have to know who he's blocking, he has to know who everybody's supposed to block. So, essentially it is a quarterback on the offensive line.
The play doesn't happen without that initial snap. So.
Yeah. Well, if it's a bad one, bad things can happen, and we saw it there. There's a penalty flag there on a bad snap, as it's a false start against the Hawks. The tailback moved forward before the snap. That was Brody Martinka. I'm going to guess that he was expecting the football in that play, as he kind of was leaning on the balls of his feet, and the weight of his head just kind of pulled him over forward. 7:29 still remaining in the game. Second down and 15. Ball at the 24 of Leander. There's a snap they're going to hand to Martinka. He's going to get stacked up right at the line of scrimmage by a whole host of Lions. He's going to be led by Evan Perkins. No gain. He's going to bring up second down. Or minimal gain. Make it 2nd and 14. Clock still moving. 7:05 remaining in the ball game. Long huddle as the Hawks try to burn off as much game clock as possible. There's about 10 seconds remaining on the play clock. We're down to 6:45 on the game clock. 2 running backs on either side of Vallejo. They're going to hand off to Martinka. No, it's going to be a keep by Vallejo on the fake to Martinka. Right up the middle. He'll pick up a first down inside the 10 to about the 7. That'll stop the clock with 6:30 remaining in the game. It'll get cranked back up as they set the down box because there's no need for the chains. It was 1st and goal.
That's a fresh set of legs right there. It's quarterback for number 13, Chance Pierce.
So that did he just come in?
He just came in, yeah.
Okay. So they're going to try to get Pierce some playing time here, and it's a good situation if you're the Hendrickson Hawks to do that. He'll have 2 running backs, one to his right, one directly behind him in a modified pistol. They're going to hand to Martinka straight ahead. He's going to break a tackle, and then he's going to get wrapped up around the 2-yard line. No further progress. 5:45 remaining in the ball game. Clock still moving. 2nd and goal. Ball at the 2-yard line. You don't want to add more points to this. You know, you look for something to build on. A stand at your goal line. It's something, right?
Yeah.
You got to start with something positive, and we didn't see a whole lot of positive tonight for the Leander Lions.
You know, it looks like coach has already subbed all his starters from defense in, which is good, though. Cause
yeah, those
come
guys.
District time, you want somebody who's got a little bit under their belt. You know?
You got to have depth. You can't put them out there with no experience and just expect them to perform. That one, Martinka takes the handoff straight ahead, follows a couple of blockers for the score. And that'll make the score 37-0 with 4:53 remaining in this ball game. Okay, now your goal is just to get points, right? You want to break that shutout. The last thing you want is to be looking at that big old goose egg.
Yeah.
And that's not something you want to, consider a win by any stretch.
But you want to see you still got some fight. You have to.
Yes,
getting
that's what
on.
it is. Is like, are you willing to play? Mercado makes the point after. I mean, if you think about, like, there's some footage of the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl that they're winning, and their center and their quarterback Tom Brady and their center are fighting with each other over imperfection, even though they've essentially already won the Super Bowl because they're playing to a standard, right? They're not looking at the scoreboard. They just, every play you execute certain things, and you got to get to a point where that's your attitude. But it's tough when things don't break your way, especially if that's compounded by some of your own self-inflicted mistakes. So hopefully the Lions can do something here on this possession with 4:53 remaining. Isaac Montgomery back deep along with number 8, Malachi Ramos. Kicking off, Paulo Albadon for Hendrickson, and we've seen him kick it short to either Jaramillo or Mike Arnell on just about every one of his kickoffs here tonight. We'll see if he does that once again. I think that might be just because he didn't have a whole lot of distance. And that's it. And Jaramillo will fair catch it at the 23. No time will run off the clock. So with 4:53 remaining, the Lions will take over on their own side of the 50 at the 20, I think it's the 25? Yeah, 25-yard line. I didn't see it, but Braylon Bryce gave the Lions even better starting field position for this possession as he commits an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, which can be a number of things. It could be just a comment. It can be a gesture. You just can't do things like stand over people and call them names. Sportsmanship's important, especially in football.
We got a new quarterback in.
As apparently the Eagles found out tonight, one of their starters was ejected from the game before it even started.
Oh, wow.
Because he spit in Dak Prescott's face.
Oh, okay.
That's assault.
Yeah. They'll be waiting for you after the game.
Well,
handcuffs on.
if he wants to press charges, he can. I mean, that is literal assault. But, I mean, who knows what kind of bloodborne things are going around there. Second down, fake. It's going to be a keeper. They have a new quarterback. It looks like that is Schneider, Case Schneider. He's going to get about a yard on the right side of the formation. 4 minutes remaining in regulation.
Sorry, I tried to show you the score there,
Oh,
but I
that's
know
fine.
you wanted to
Let's see it. I don't care. I mean, I expected them to lose.
Well, I mean, they're not. I mean, it's not terrible.
It's closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are probably at home watching that and flipping over here and checking in.
Appreciate you tuning in, listening to us talk.
3:35 remaining.
Sometimes
Clock's
it makes
still
sense.
moving. Yeah, every once in a while we get it right.
We get it right.
Jay Coates will be the running back beside Schneider. Schneider flips it out in the flat. It's a completion. Back to the line of scrimmage, though. Not much after that. Big old lineman there making the tackle. Looks like that's Owen Meza, number 90. It's fourth down. The Lions will bring out the punting unit.
Now would be a good time to try out one of them trick plays for special teams. I mean, yeah.
You're around midfield. I mean, there's some plus and minus to that, right? I mean, in this type of game,
get you a good look, a live action look.
Right, you do get a live action look, but so do your future opponents.
Oh, okay. No, I hear you on that.
So you may want to, in
Or
this,
show 'em
if
some
it's a
dummy
tight
plays.
ball game, that's
Yeah.
that's a little bit different. But Rodriguez back to kick.
Like
Tristan
I said,
Knapp.
sometimes we make sense on her.
Yes. Rodriguez gets
That's
a nice
great
roll.
kick right there.
It's going to roll down to the 10 and be downed by Dominic Jaramillo.
He's always been a great weapon to have. You get cornered back on your side over there, he'll give you some space.
Yeah.
With that leg of his.
Flip the field for sure, which is beneficial, especially if your defense is playing good. Well, we've had a tough night tonight on really in all phases of the game. If you're going to talk to Coach about it, I can guarantee you he's not happy with offense, defense, or special teams. There's bright spots in all of it. You can always find a bright spot, but overall as units, they got some work to do. Back to the drawing board, so to speak.
We'll make some adjustments, get ready for district. Or get ready for Belton. Del Valle, sorry.
Handoff goes straight ahead to number 20. That's Artis Duncan. Gain of about 5 off of left tackle. Quarterback remains Chance Pierce, the sophomore. Is Vallejo taking a well-deserved rest over on the Hawks sideline. 2nd and 4. They're going to give him 6 yards on that game. 1:53 remaining. Oh, they moved it back up to 2 minutes because it's the 2-minute timeout. He did it again. The NFL is going to get him for twice.
They'll get it by the end of the season.
Yeah. He probably don't care.
Couple scores here. Vista Ridge is now leading Bowie 21-14 in the third. Midway is running away from Cedar Ridge 58-17 in the third.
That Midway team is pretty good this year. They had a blowout win in week 1 as well. Handoff straight ahead. Not much there as the line defense stiffens its neck. They're going to give him a gain of about 2. It'll be 3rd and 2. Ball carrier was number 12. I thought it was 12. Braylon Bryce. So it's 3rd and short. Clock still moving. There's about 24 seconds on the play clock, under a minute in the game clock. So the Hawks will run it down to about 10 seconds on that play clock probably and run the football again and try to get a first down. If they get a first down, then they're in victory formation. They may even get down in victory formation here because they can take a knee, and it looks like they will. They take a knee, and so it'll be 4th down, and by the time the play clock gets wound, that's going to be the ball game. And it looks like that'll be it. So we want to thank you for listening to tonight's ball game. The Lions on the short end of the stick by a score of 38-0 to the Hendrickson Hawks. Back to the drawing board. Frank, you got any final comments?
Like I said, it's just one of them things that you just got to learn from. I mean, get it out the way now. So when district comes, we get the ball rolling. Next game, Dale Valley. So back to the drawing board, like you said, and keep y'all's head up. I mean, it's just one of those learning lessons.
So we'll go on ahead and close out the broadcast. We want to thank you for listening. Juan Alaniz on production. Frank Rodriguez providing the color commentary, and Peter Casimir giving you that good camera work. We want to thank you, and again, want to shout out the Booster Club sponsors that we've mentioned throughout. If you want to step up and be a booster, or maybe you want to help out with the broadcast, reach out to us. Otherwise, good night and go Lions.
Go Lions.